how do I know when is the best time to enter a trade? How do I catch a trend at the bottom so I can get the whole way with my trade? These are questions that I get asked a whole lot. Therefore, we're going to talk about in this video about 4 important steps to analyze the markets. So by the end of the video, you will have a short checklist in order to do your analysis and do a solid trade after that for your trading success. So let's start with the first point. I will call it the big, or let's call it the general weather conditions. What I mean with the general weather conditions is the time frame. They're really different. I will write it down. They're really different time frames, but the most important is weekly, daily, hourly, and maybe also the 15-minute chart. So at these time frames, you can take a look. It's the same chart, but you get different impressions sometimes. So it's really important to match them. So for example, if we are in an overall uptrend on the weekly chart, and the daily chart, we will maybe, let's say we're at this point. And here, at first we're in an upwards movement. You see, we are making higher highs and higher lows. So we're in an upwards movement and having a correction here. And at this point, it seems like in the weekly chart, the trend is going to, or the pullback is ending and the trend is going to continue. So in the daily chart, it may seem like a sideways range at this point because you get a closer look at it. And in the hourly, it may be also looking like a downwards movement because you have a look at this part. So in the 15-minute chart, in the end, you can really do the detail. So let's say these are the general weather conditions, and the 15 minutes chart you can use for timing. So you can really take a closer look where it's the best situation to enter the market to catch the trade at the really bottom. So these are really the important facts. So always make sure, are we, for example, in the weekly in an uptrend? Daily, does it match? Hourly, is it maybe sideways? You know, it doesn't always have to exactly match the same direction because sometimes it's just at a strong support and resistance level, for example. It's a sideways range where you can, for example, trade the breakout of that sideways range as well. So it doesn't always have to match exactly, but you should really do your analysis first to really can tell what the overall conditions is, because that's really, really important to know. Otherwise, you can just trade randomly and maybe catch a trade at the really wrong development of the market. So this is number 1. So let's jump to number 2. I've mentioned it shortly. It's the support and resistance areas. Support and resistance areas are a really important topic as well. I've made a single video just on that. If you want to go in detail, I really recommend you to go to my YouTube channel and check out this video just exactly on that topic. But for now, support and resistance areas are a really important topic because they are high potential turning points. So it's really important to analyze the chart where these high potential turning points are. Why is that important? Because you don't want to trade into the wrong direction. Or for example, let's say if we're here at this point and this is, I will make a new drawing. Why? This is a high potential turning area because we have a really strong support and resistance level here. And the market is making this movement and you think, okay, this is an upwards movement. And you're entering the market right here, for example, because you're waiting until it's making a new high, wanting to enter the market. But I would never recommend you to enter the market long if it's shortly before a really strong support and resistance level, because it's a high potential turning point, and what we want to do in trading is to catch the best opportunity for a trade. And just entering the trade just before a strong support and resistance level, a high potential turning point, is not the best opportunity for our trade to go well. So this is the reason why support and resistance areas are a really important factor. Okay, then we have analyzed the markets, we have our general weather conditions and our support and resistance areas. Then we should check also the news, because the news are a really big, or can be a really big distraction factor. The non-farming payrolls, for example, or when the US markets are opening, it's also a lot volume coming into the markets. And these volumes can lead to really big movements in the market, big spikes sometimes as well. Spikes that don't even mean that the market is going into the direction of the spike, but they can knock you out of the trade by just touching your stop loss, for example, and then going straight into the direction you wanted to trade, but you're not in the trade anymore because of that spike. That's really important, why you really need to check the news. And on TradingView, for example, or on investing.com, you can check the news for each market. And at TradingView, for example, you have it on your chart as well. Depending on the markets, you see when the news are coming in on the bottom of your chart. Okay, now you have the really general analysis done, and what's left is the strategy-based factors. And this part is really individual. So first you have to know, are you doing a trend following strategy? Are you doing maybe a breakout strategy? Maybe are you trading sideways ranges? This is really the really most important fact of your strategy. But of course you need to know if you're using indicators, which indicators are you using, maybe a stochastic indicator or a moving average, something like that. And of course, you need to know your entry and exit conditions. Are you using a chart pattern? Are you trading breakout? Really important to define exactly what your strategy is so you can repeat it every time. Only that way it can be a money-making strategy, because if you want to make money or want to be profitable on a regular basis long time, you have to be able to repeat it. And only with that facts you can calculate your risk and your rewards. So really important to have an exact rule for your strategies. These are the most important facts. This is how we are doing it in my VIP group. If you want to join, click below this video and you will find the link to join totally for free. I'll be happy to meet you there.